have a solo side project that's kind of like industrial meets JSU, down-tuned like, the volunteer rig is.
Okay.
But that's called Tron Jovi. And then
Sick name.
Best name ever.
Yeah, that was something.
Sounds like a really cool robot.
Yeah.
Plays metal. Tron Jovi.
Well, it worked for me because Tron is like digital and Jovi is like rock and roll. So I thought it was a good play words.
Digital rock
Plus,
and roll.
plus making fun of Bon Jovi is pretty funny.
Always preferred.
That's what I do every day.
So I do that like in my downtime. Like if volunteer, takes a month off or something for whatever reason, I'll just try to put together some demos.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wait, what'd you play in that band? I missed that. Sorry. You play guitar?
In
Tron Jovi.
In volunteer, I play bass. In Tron Jovi, everything's all me.
Okay.
I play bass, baritone guitar, regular guitar,
nice,
synth programming, drum programming.
Cool.
It's all digital. I'll make sure and leave you guys with some audio.
Please. I checked out the Bandcamp and it was I had no idea you did everything.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's all solo. That's all me. And then another thing that I've been trying to get back into before I moved to Milwaukee, I did a lot of beat making.
Nice.
Just 'cause I didn't have any other musicians in Racine that I wanted to collaborate with in a band setting.
Definitely.
And I was also too busy to do a band because I was working full time and then also freelancing for Uprising Records for 10 years, and that was like 20-30 hours a week on top of my day job. So I just did beat making during my downtime using Ableton. I've been using Ableton since version 4.
I had no idea it was around for that long.
Oh, dude, I started in 2004, I think, or 2005, and it's been around longer than that.
Jesus.
Same. Recently, I'm all fired up again about hip hop because I've been to a couple hip hop shows here in Milwaukee, and there's a whole new bunch of people making great music.
What?
Stop eating into the mic. That's all you're gonna hear.
No.
If you're not
Probably.
talking,
Sorry. I mean, no hungry. I'm not gonna do that anymore. Go for it. So what about Euro pizza? I like it too. It's delicious. It's really good. I'm just kidding.
Well, is there anything else you're involved with musically?
Musically, well, I actually do. I do produce music too. Like,
sweet.
I've got a DIY recording studio in the basement that I built for volunteers, so I produce all the volunteer recordings. But I actually do work for other local bands. Like, I've done stuff for Board Straight. Done stuff.
Wow.
For who else? Lamb's Legs, Foreign Lawns.
Word.
The Holman. I do a lot of stuff for the Holman. Once or twice a year, I record with those guys. Try not to do too much of it because it kind of interrupts my my home life a little bit.
Yeah.
Sure.
What do you got going on at home? You have kids?
What's that?
Do you have any kids? Are you married?
No.
Okay.
I don't have any kids. I am divorced, but I got a girlfriend and a dog.
Cool.
But
and
no, just like it takes a whole weekend to produce a good recording.
For sure.
And we go until it's done. So that's my only downtime, really. So if I give it to a band, then I'm going on 2 full weeks of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Before I get to chill again. So.
For sure.
So how long has III Industries been a thing?
Well, we just celebrated our 2nd year of existence with the III Noise Rock Fest that we did at Cactus Club. So that's been interesting.
And who do you run that with?
With Francisco, who sings and plays baritone in Volunteer, and then Mark, who originally played drums, but now he switched and he played.
And y'all just had a fest, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It was 2 days at Cactus, and it was mostly III bands, and then we had 1 or 2 additional bands of just guys we like Heat Death. They're not on the label, but they're a great band. We had them come play.
They absolutely.
They're really good. We just saw them at Quarters for Century Days. It was awesome.
Yeah, it really was.
Good dudes. Yeah. Ken's the nicest guy too.
Best human ever.
And then
shout out to Ken.
What up, Ken?
He's on the show.
Oh,
yes.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds about
That was
right.
like when Heat Death first started.
No, not when they first started.
It was very recent because remember they just got all their like attention via the newspaper and stuff like that. They hadn't been around for that. It was like their album release show. It was
but they've been around. They have an album before that, man.
What was it called?
Obsolescence.
Before the newest record?
Before 9 Steps to a Happier
Well,
Life.
it didn't matter to me because this
Yeah.
new it changed my life.
Apparently it didn't. No, they're tight.
They're good.
They're a really good band, and
They were newer,
They were.
fresh in the
I
scene.
think. I think they were just fresh to you.
They started playing a lot at that point.
I can't understand what you're saying with
No,
your
you know,
mouth full.
honestly,
They started playing more recently.
wasn't Heat Death more of like a bedroom studio project
Yeah.
prior?
When
to
it
this
started,
last
Totally
record?
was.
When
Yeah.
it started, yeah. But
So that's probably
They
why.
were. They still existed, but
That's probably why he's unfamiliar with the older.
Yeah.
material.
But,
I mean, I
uh,
didn't know they existed as a band until we played with them, and then they did that cassette tape.
they're really
Yeah.
good live.
Yeah, they are.
I was
Excellent.
very impressed.
it's very full for just having like the synth.
The synth that he also like switches out for bass, and then the guitar and drums. Yeah.
Yep.
The guy with
he
the
played
curly
bass
hair?
at the fest.
Yeah.
He's really
Well,
nice.
since-
Oh, cool.
But it's tight. Like that guitar sound that Ken gets is so unique, and like
He's a tone god.
she's very well. He's got like 40,000 pedals.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, he's got quite a few.
What motivated you to like start putting stuff out?
Well,
I think you talked about like collecting, like just kind of like getting like that whole collection together. But like yeah, I guess was there anything else that like fueled you to be like, hey, these bands need to be heard? Like,
Well, mostly it was the label came about to do our own stuff, but once we realized that we were only going to do maybe one record a year, and we could do more, we decided to fill in that gap of time of producing stuff for other people.
cool.
And that's when we decided to do the Super Mode 7-inch.
Okay.
Okay.
So that was actually the first non-volunteer release that we put out. I don't know. It just seems cool, man. It seems like if we're not gonna do this for us and our friends and document this scene, who is?
Yes.
Right.
You know,
Completely.
you can try to, hassle record labels to put stuff out, but I don't know. It just seemed to make sense that because we all have the capacity together.
Yeah.
To do this on our own, so why
Definitely.
not?
At the end of the day, your friends are gonna, they're not gonna try and compromise what you want to happen artistically. Whereas, like, even a label who you think is DIY, I don't know. Sometimes like someone who knows you and someone who like is gonna care about you regardless will manage your music the best.
I feel like I know where you're
You know what I'm trying to
trying
say?
to get at. Like somebody who's like running a label in a different scene is going to not want to like put as much work into it.
Well, they're just not gonna understand where exactly. If
Well,
like
I mean,
you for example.
speaking artistically, sure, yeah,
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying. Yeah. Like yes, I guess that's where I'm coming from too. But
yeah.
I guess the only really experience I have with that is like you
Yeah.
had a label for a little while. And
Yeah.
like,
It sucked.
but we got to
We didn't
like
do that great.
when we were but when we were playing the record, I got to sit in your room and just be like, yo, this is how. Like we just got to trade ideas and be like how
Yeah.
it wasn't. It wasn't. It felt better.
You know what though? I think the real reason we did it is because in this day and age, anybody can have a record label.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Why go beg somebody else to put your music out? When
Totally.
Honestly, with a little trial and error, you can do it yourself. I mean, you've done it.
DIY.
It was
You
it was so easy to like get it. I mean, there's like $60 straight up. Like I want to start a record label. Okay, $60. Like website, like store envy shop, Facebook page, and like
Fancy
all your
neon
friends.
sign.
And then it was like we released a couple of tapes, and like we actually did make some money. And it was just like it was so dumb easy. It was just
Now you're rich.
and I mean, I was surprised at how easy it was.
I think
it was easy getting started, but the difficult part was like maintaining it and trying to grow.
yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah,
just
it is.
trying to navigate through and figure out what's the best way. And plus, we're pressing vinyl. There's a lot of money involved with that, invested in that.
We never pressed vinyl just because we were looking at it. It was like $750.
I know,
Where are we going to
dude.
get that kind of money?
I know.
People love vinyl now. Tapes are where it's at, though.
But
Yes.
yeah, no, I think tape labels that's a great business model if you're not worried about putting out vinyl. Unfortunately, I lust for vinyl, so
Yeah.
and the other guys do too a little bit. So I think we just kind of love that as a format. We did do a tape. So not saying we
Nice.
would never would do a cassette tape or anything.
Tapes are
For
so
sure.
fun just to like. I don't know, because when you get like 100 tapes in the mail, you're just like, oh, I got my tapes. You
Yeah.
can pick up
And
the
they're all
box.
shiny.
Well,
Yeah.
I think what's so great about tapes is that it's a low barrier to entry. They're inexpensive. It's better tr because it's 9 times out of 10 professionally printed and everything.
Definitely.
And then you have something tangible that you can hawk at a show
Yep.
Right.
versus here's my download card or whatever.
Certainly.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
And
more feasible.
I don't know. I think it's also tight that like it's not impossible, but it's more difficult to like put on a computer and just like share with all your friends than it is like a CDR or something.
Yeah.
Which like may be part of the intention, but not to say anything against piracy either, but
Torrent like crazy.
like when you create a physical thing, like it's tight that people want to hear the music, sure, but like when you put time into like making like a rapper, like a cover art
or a
like,
beat.
Well, I'm beyond the music. Like
Sure.
I'm saying when you like put
Yes.
time into like making a sleeve for your CD or tape or like whatever, and then people are like torrenting that, you're like, well, like it's tight that people appreciate the music. However, like I also put a lot of time into this other artistic output.
Definitely.
And it's kind of like, it's lacking at that.
Yeah, having like a tangible object kind of gives the person who owns it like that. They feel a little bit more connected to the
Yeah.
artist because
Totally.
I got one of these. It's one of 50.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I love this
Absolutely.
band,
Yep.
and people like to feel like they have a little bit of, cool or a cool factor by knowing about a band that somebody else doesn't know, or I've got that thing they did that you just have the MP3s.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get props for your MP3 collection,
Yeah. This is
So-
true. So do you do a lot of the bands that you work with? Do you just work with them because they're your friends, because like you know each other, or like you're in the same scene?
It's kind of a mixed bag.
Yeah.
For example, War Brides, we just signed a deal with those guys,
Okay.
and
Where are they called?
those guys are from Chicago.
Okay.
They're friends of ours. We've been playing with them ever since the whole time we've been volunteer, and prior to that, we gigged with them once or twice as stock options when Kevin, Mark, and I
remember.
did that band.
Yes, for sure.
That's a really tight name.
That was.
Yeah, so those guys are just pals. But then on the flip side, there's a band from Michigan called Them Teeth.
Okay.
Word.
We found out about those dudes just because Fran was checking out Bandcamp, and he was searching around on there by tags.
Okay.
And can I swear on this?
Or
no?
No. I can edit it, but.
Well, yeah. Yes.
Well, I'll say it without swearing. No, he actually he clicked on the tag for was it Robert Kreisgau coined the term and used it to describe Sonic Youth, but Pig F
Okay.
as one word. But that's now be like a genre, and it's basically a synonym for noise rock.
Okay.
And
That's
he was
interesting.
looking
That's
at
crazy.
other Pig F bands because that's what we tag. That's what we tag ourselves on as Bandcamp. And
Nice.
those guys came up, and their demo came up, and we listened to it. And while the demo wasn't produced amazingly, it was good. It was the songs were good,
Okay.
Yeah.
and we ended up striking up a conversation with those guys, and that ended up being another 7-inch we did, and we've done a few shows with them, and they're just the nicest guys.
Nice.
Cool.
They came up for the fest and hung out. And,
Word.
Cool.
yeah, their 7-inch that they did actually was mixed by Scott Evans from Kowloon Walled City, which is pretty rad.
Cool.
'Cause
What's that?
I read that dude's writing about audio engineering and
Okay.
stuff.
Nice.
But
Very cool.
anyways, that's totally off here.
No, interesting.
But
What are you most excited for with TEI this year, or now that what's on the come up?
next thing we're working on is the new War Brides record.
Cool.
Like I said, we just off those dudes a deal. It's going through. Probably in the spring of 2017. That'll
Sweet.
come out. They recorded. How many songs? 9 songs with Greg Norman in Chicago at Electrical Audio.
Nice.
And
I've recorded there.
I just heard the first round master. I don't know if it's going to be the final master.
It's pretty sweet.
And it sounds good.
Nice.
It sounds really good.
Isn't it all analog down there? Electrical
yeah,
audio?
I believe it is.
Nice.
And then Justin Perkins, who handles all of our mastering, did the master for that.
Okay.
I've been bumping
Rad.
that in my car the past week or so, and it sounds great. I can't wait to throw that onto some wax.
Tight.
Cool.
So on the AAA Industries site, there are some artists with like a show archive. That's pretty tight and something that I feel
We
a
tried
lot
to
of
do.
bands aspire to do but
Never do.
fail. What's your success rate on that? Like, would you say that's pretty?
The show archives on the III site.
Yeah.
Dude, I put that up myself.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was it for okay?
I just keep up on when our bands are touring and try to
Wow.
try to put that stuff. I don't catch all of it.
This is sick.
I catch most of it.
I'm looking at the Northless show archive. I just clicked on it, and it goes
Goes
all
back
the
to
way
1964.
It goes all the way back to 1912.
Right.
Like-
Well, actually, the Northless show archive.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't think that was all entered by me.
Okay.
Because check this out. Gilead Records. You guys know that
No.
label? They're up in
Not familiar.
Oshkosh.
Okay.
They
sure.
they co-released some records for Northless
Okay.
with Halo Flies. I also did the Gilead Media website, and I do
Okay.
I do a ton of websites for a bunch of.
Is that
different
how
people.
y'all connected?
I
website guy?
have no idea.
I don't remember. Probably, I think we.
Remember the
I think
context.
you know what? I think you started talking about I just found mkpunk.com.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's what it
And-
was.
and
And
you're
then
like-
Scuffco was like,
And you were like, you better download all this stuff from the site because it looks like it's going away.
I don't know why I had
either
that
it was either Scuffka or
it was definitely Scuffco.
or Corey or somebody tagged me on it, and I'm like, nope, that site's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm just really busy.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I think the impression for me was like, you better like. I didn't think it was like going away. I just like I didn't know anything about it.
like
It's
it
a
was gonna
gem.
get pulled down
Ooh.
by DMCA notice or something
Something
like
like
that.
that. Like I just didn't know anything about it, so I wasn't sure if.
I think we're like trying to hype it up. Like, yo, people need to listen to this.
Well, yeah, that too. And like I've definitely
Maybe.
like, whenever I need new music to listen to, I definitely like go through there. But like
There's there's
without
some gems
having
in
known
there.
you or like, I just wasn't sure how long it was gonna be around.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, no, that site's not going anywhere. And everything that's up on there, we actually make sure we get the okay from the bands.
Oh word,
Nice.
So that
that's good.
we don't have any surprises and we don't have anybody telling us take that down,
Right.
Yeah,
put the rest of the site at risk.
that's
So-
cool. So that's interesting. Too.
Longevity.
Like, how do you get like? I mean, dude, there's some really really obscure stuff here. How do you get? I mean, do you just know all these people, or like, do you know?
Well,
I don't know. How do you get in touch with them?
oh man, it's pretty wild how. So like it started out, Jeremy and I going through our own record collections and tape collections,
Sure.
and we ran out of that stuff. We tapped some of those musicians that we asked from our record collections that we had that were our friends,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
and asked them about their record collections, and then we kind of went out from there. And now it's to the point. It used to be I'd have to like find some musician's name on a record, search for him on Facebook,
Yeah.
and then cold call him.
Wow.
And at first it
Yeah,
was
that's
difficult
crazy.
because
Is that
I
the band Death?
had to do the hi, my name is Marty. I do this project called mkpunk.com.
So it almost sounds like
so I'd have to give them a whole history of what we're trying to do,
Yeah.
tell them that we're not trying to make money, that we just want to archive it for posterity,
Yeah.
and that and originally it was supposed to just be Milwaukee music, but then that was stupid because as the website grew, we just now are doing the whole state,
Yeah.
Good.
Wisconsin. But now people know
Stylist.
about the website, so sometimes if we get a hold of people, they're like, oh yeah, of course, I've been meaning to get a hold of you guys, or
Oh, that's sick.
oh, I didn't even know those tapes existed, otherwise I would have said a long time ago, go ahead and do it. So
Right.
Yeah.
just because we've been around now a while, it's a little bit easier.
Right.
The trouble now is
That the Pink Floyd?
is I've got so many cassette tapes in my office that have to get digitized, and ripping a CD is one thing.
Yeah, what's that process like for tapes? Is it?
Oh man, well, it's not.
Because you can stub it or like.
Yeah, you gotta play it in real time, track it into an audio interface,
Into a recording system.
Maybe bump the levels a little bit, chop it, tag it, add some sort of art.
Throw the air horn in there.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
yeah, air horn. So that just takes a long time. If there's a CD out there, that's more likely to get on the website sooner. And we're actually kind of at capacity with stuff that needs to get ripped.
Okay.
Mostly due to Tony Schwader, because he gave me boxes and boxes of stuff. Like the Killdozer tape that's on there right now.
Yeah.
It's from the Concert Cafe in Green Bay. That's from his personal collection.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's sick.
And that was actually imported and lightly mastered or cleaned up or whatever you want to say by Justin from Mystery Room Mastering. Which
That's me. Mystery Room, anything you guys need mastered, I got, all the analog stuff
So
there.
you got a headline here that says you have partnered with WMSE.
What's
do you
that
wanna
like?
Talk about that.
Are you good? Are you an engineer too? Tell us the truth. Are you a low-key engineer? Is that how you got that?
Low-key engineer.
Like, did you go to WMSE? Is that how you guys have that cool connection?
Oh, no.
Oh.
I did not go to MSC.
Okay.
Well, because we're trying to get all this material up on the site, of course, we reached out to WMC. I've got a pretty good relationship with the station manager and some of the key folks there.
Nice.
Just from, being in bands and then with the record label and stuff. But I guess MK Punk kind of preceded doing our record label. So, we just ended up talking to them and building a relationship. And they ended up having... back in the day, they were called carts. They would take cassette tapes and they would digitize them, sort of, I guess, onto cartridges that they could then queue up and play, and all the cartridges were mapped out so they knew what songs they were.
Wow.
So this is
like an early hard drive.
So this is like 80s, 90s, like radio stuff, and we wanted to save all that stuff. So they gave us all the digitized versions of that, but in order for them to give that to us, we had to partner and be open about how we gathered the material from them, so that there wouldn't be any issues going forward. Like if some band was on one of the cartridges and they didn't want their music onto the site, they couldn't come after us or the station, because
all the legal stuff.
Because when they gave their demo tape in 1988 to WMSC, I think they had to sign some form saying that WMSC could use it however they wanted. And now that's kind of extends to us. So we've got a really good relationship with those guys. Cool. Even to the point where it was like all of last year and some of this year. Jeremy, the other guy who runs MK Punk with me, he and I went in and did a MK Punk radio hour on the Shape of Rock's radio show. So it was like it was 1 hour a month. It was the last Tuesday of every month, and we'd go in and.
We were just talking about how there's no. That's awesome, because there's no when you listen to 88.9, there's a lot of pop that's around being showcased or indie, but there's never really been obviously that happened, but a consistent, it'd be cool to have something like that. I feel like I definitely listen to the radio if
man,
it's awesome that you did that.
I've been listening to MSC since I was 15, because I lived on the north side of Racine, and I still remember the day. It was very vivid in my memory. I just got a stereo, hooked it up, and my mom gave me this extremely long wired antenna that I splayed across the wall, and I went through and I methodically went through all the stations. I'm like, oh, there's a cool jazz station. And I'd put a little piece of masking tape on the tuner, and then I'd move it again. Nice. It wasn't digital, just had a tuner.
Sure, yeah.
And then I got to MSE and I heard the Cramps, and I was like, I've heard this song before. I heard that song once before, and I was like, oh my God, there's weird stuff on this radio station. I gotta make sure and tune in. So like every day after school, I'd race home. I'd already have a tape deck or a tape in the cassette deck on record and pause, just waiting for me to get home and catch a Wild Kingdom song or something like that.
Yeah. So it was more punk back in the day, you're saying?
What's
like
that?
was Emma? Because I feel like when I listen to W or 91.7, sometimes I'll hear I guess I don't know the.
I think they're a lot more like
they're eclectic.
They definitely play.
They have like noise music sometimes, and they have like Chopin. Like
they have a wide genre
like
of music.
classical.
Like I definitely remember not long ago, like tuning into WMSC and like hearing like a classic rock hour. That's actually pretty tight because it wasn't just like Steppenwolf and Pink Floyd. They were playing some down home stuff.
Well, the thing with MSC is you got to know the schedule of the DJs
That's
that
true.
you like, because they have programming, and the blocks of programming are all 3-hour blocks. So I really hate the blues drive thing that they do from 3 to 6, but then once 6 o'clock rolls around, especially if it's Monday, then Buzz's show on.
Yeah.
Then it's a bunch of like garage rock and noise rock and stuff like that.
Cool.
Or Tuesday mornings and Thursday mornings they play some punk.
Cool.
Between 6 and 9. So you just have to know when the DJs are playing. But
early punks.
But what I like why I like listening to MSE is because there's dudes that DJ there that bring in their own records. So you're listening to records from a DJ who loves music from their personal collection. You're not going to get that 88.9.
Yeah.
Most people, I don't like to diss 88.9 too loudly,
please.
But most people that know me know that I really have no love for that station.
Word.
Mostly because those guys take a little wind out of MSE. Once MSE used to be the only cool station. Now everybody that thinks they're into hip alternative music thinks 88.9 is the second coming.
No.
It's like,
Dude, I'm with you so hard on that.
It's like
dude, it's garbage.
Showcased indie. It's like the really like. I couldn't get 91.7 when I worked at 7-Eleven, and I would always have to listen to 88.9 because it's like, the closest thing to something relatively cool. And like, it just seems like they take like the taking an indie song that is just like, popular in America right now and just like playing the crap out of it as you would like on like Kiss FM or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is almost no different to me than just like pop culture. Like,
it's still like programmed music.
Yes.
They have a playlist. If you listen. When I first discovered it, I was like, "Oh, cool!" Because they would play like Tribe Called Quest, and I love, they play a lot of classic era hip hop stuff.
Totally.
As far as any other radio station, you're not gonna hear that on the Hog or whatever. So I
Not anymore.
Laser.
Right. So
Bob and Brian in the morning.
And the douche.
I would actually.
I hope that's not copyrighted.
I would actually tune in to 88.9 for a while, and I'd be outside, doing some work or something like that, and over time, I'd hear the same 5 songs, and I remember at the time it was Kid Millions. They'd just play Kid Millions.
I remember that dude.
And it wasn't even a good song, but they played it so much it became popular.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
completely agree.
On the flip side, we could just have another Laser.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
I'd be okay with hearing 20 Metallica songs in a day.
I'd rather, I'd be cool with that. Kind of.
At the end of the day, if MSE isn't playing my jam, I'll throw 88.9 and pray that they're going to be playing some Guru's Jazzmatazz or something like that.
Only that's a great album. Jazzmatazz. Oh, it's Guru's live album. He did an album with
Guru
a live
from
jazz.
Gangstar.
You love that album.
I do love that album.
Anytime we do anything together, I think you would play that. Like if we were, it's pretty good. I can't believe you produced the whole thing.
Got MC Solar, the French MC, on there. That was so
really
good. Volume 1, I'm talking about.
Okay, I wouldn't.
The second one.
Okay.
But
Volume 1's the
history.
OG. That's my favorite.
yeah. Yeah, it was Guru from Gangstar, and then a bunch of
Features
musicians from Blue Note Records.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you told me that.
Yeah. So
Bruno. Very cool.
So a lot of the material on MKE Punk, it seems to be like, it doesn't it doesn't like seem to follow any sort of path. It's kind of all over the place, and like some of it is super obscure, like was mentioned. And now I know you said that like it comes mostly, or like a lot of it comes from like your collections, but like the stuff that doesn't come from your collection or like your friends' collections, you know, do people just like hit you up like, hey, I've got this rad 7-inch?
Oh yeah. We have people that submit stuff. Sometimes it's their own band. Sometimes it's like, oh, I've got this stuff from my friend's band. He says it's okay that you put it on.
Okay.
On the site, here you go. Sometimes I go to Half Price Books a lot. Sometimes I'll just go peel a really cool 12-inch out of Half Price Books and be like, oh, this is now a band I have to go search out.
Yeah.
Because I hit the record store at least once a week.
Word.
So
that's tight.
Rushmore Records.
Love Rushmore.
Classic record shop.
Yeah. Dan's my
I used to go there and dude, he used to give me crap for buying Pearl Jam. He used to have all these Pearl Jam bootlegs, and I would just go in there like as a 15-year-old kid.
Why would he give you a hard time? You're spending your money.
Because it's Pearl Jam. I think because I need
a hard time when I buy Chili Peppers vinyl, so I feel.
I didn't have any clout back then. Not clout, but just like I was just like this kid from Stylus. Literally, I would take the 15 down there just to buy like a Pearl Jam CD from when they played like an open venue out in Massachusetts. Like I don't know how we acquired these, but
pretty sick.
He'd be like,
you gotta start somewhere, man.
Exactly, for sure.
What's the digitization process like? That's something I've never seen.
Well, at MKE Punk South, as I like to call it, because I'm in Bayview and Jeremy's up in Shorewood, and my setup, I've got couple of turntables hooked up to a mixer, got that going into an interface, and then I also have a cassette deck that goes into an interface. And for a while I had an ADAT that went into an interface.
What's that?
It's like it's a digital format that was cassette that recording studios would use. We used it one time to import some. It was a project from one of the dudes from Promise Ring.
Okay.
Tight.
Cool. Captain Jazz or Maritime?
No, it was Vermont.
I've never heard. That's cool.
Yeah. So, mostly just bring it in real time and then clean it up. Sometimes I'll do it in Ableton, or sometimes I'll just use Wave Editor, which is a 2-track editor.
Sweet. What kind of interface are you running?
Let's see. Originally, I had an Edirol FA88, I think it was, or FA66.
Okay.
I don't know, it was just a simple unit that had RCA ins in the back, but also had mic ins in the front.
Sweet.
But right now, I'm actually running a Focusrite Sapphire Pro 40.
Nice.
They make such good hardware.
Yeah, Focusrite's good stuff. It's actually my old recording studio rig from the basement studio that I moved upstairs because I got a new rig for the basement. So
nice.
I'm gonna get a little nerdy.
Sure.
Nerd out.
How do you host your digitized files? Like, I'm assuming you don't just like throw those on a subfolder of MKE Punk.
Yep. That's exactly what we do.
Nice. Rodney's killing it right now.
We host it through DreamHost.
This is my favorite part right here. This is the tightest.
His tricks are wild.
They're
Dude,
so wild.
This is Rodney Mullen.
He's the best.
What the?
Super good.
There's that one, I think it's about to come up, where he like does a kickflip or something, and this lady's like, "Oh wow!"
Oh, is
just, like,
is this Rodney versus Day One song?
No, this is round 3.
Oh,
Nice.
So many dark slides, dude.
He was, dude. Oh my god, it's just memorizing to watch
transition, too. Like this skate film
is classic.
It was like what got me motivated to skateboard.
Definitely.
sorry about that.
That's okay. We got distracted. Sorry.
Yeah.
You were saying.
So that's all you do. You just throw it in a subfolder of DIY MKE?
Yeah, man. Jeremy actually runs the hosting through DreamHost, and they advertise.
They've got really good boxes.
Yeah, they advertised like no cap on bandwidth or storage space. So we're putting that to the test.
They're super cheap too.
I think the last time that we downloaded it once, it was like a 4.5 gig archive of music.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, it's pretty focused. It's
not,
it's not like every MP3 in the world. It's just
every
MP3 in the world from Wisconsin.
I just Yeah, I don't know. I imagine it to be bigger, I guess. I mean, it just
That's what she says.
suppose it's the
Michael
Sorry.
Scott.
Got
him. Got him.
I suppose it depends upon like the format too.
I'm so happy you said that.
You left it open. What was I supposed to do?
That's what. He
That's
said.
what.
Oh man! All right. Well, all right. What's the timestamp on that? We got to pull that.
That's what she said. Okay, I'm gonna stop. That's it. I don't even say that.
Oh, is that not safe for air too?
I don't know.
This is
I don't really think that's what
Would
she said. Jokes are safe for airing on the radio.
That's.
We can put it. Whoa, we're not clipping anything from the extended interview.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're putting everything up on YouTube.
Better
All of it.
timestamp then.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said "oh shit" earlier too, and now I just.
What were we just talking about?
Well, we were talking about hosting
The gigs.
the tracks. So what challenges have you come across with MKE Punk?
Just keeping up with the digitization of material. That's the
Word.
hardest part. Honestly, if I had like interns or something, we could do it. But there's no point in doing that. 'Cause
Sure.
What are they gonna learn?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I will.
Yeah, that's something I'd love to do too. If I
Kind
had
of.
the hardware to do such a thing.
Yeah. One day we'll help you.
We might pull your card and have you do that then.
All right.
I mean, I
You got a job.
I mean, I could stay busy if I digitized all day, every day for like 3 months.
Right.
I could stay busy. That's
Definitely.
how many cassette tapes. And honestly, like cassette tapes too. Sometimes the space in between songs isn't clear
Sure.
or isn't clearly defined. Sometimes the labeling on cassettes isn't accurate. Like maybe the songs are out of order. That's the real hard part. Is so even you digitize something and then you chop it to what you think it is, and then you get to the end, and you're like, oh,
It's all wrong.
I'm like one song short. What did I do?
Yeah.
Then you got to go back and review it, and you're like, no, that's everything. That's right. You know. And, but you didn't know that there were 2 songs that ran together. You know, song 6.
That was
so.
I just came across something very similar to that.
What?
The Reptilian Show. That was the first time I realized that. What is that song? Embrace your surroundings.
Pretty Big Doses?
Yeah. Okay. So Pretty Big Doses. I thought that the first part of that song and the second part, I always thought those were 2 separate songs, and they're not.
Yeah. Wait, are you thinking about Footstep? I don't. You're not thinking about that song, are you? Are you sure? Okay. Well, do you know what's funny about that too? Is I think it's like we always spun that vinyl,
Yeah. Well.
so I
yeah.
could totally see that.
I'm thinking of.
Pretty Big Doses, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Pretty Big Doses.
Okay.
So like it's got this part. It's like really fast, right? And it's like. And I don't know. I just thought that the first track and like the first half and the second half were different songs as well.
Nice.
And so I could see that becoming like confusing, especially if you're not familiar with the band.
Yeah, and a lot of it's getting to the point now too where the material that we get, it's the first time we've ever even heard some of these bands, so we don't even know what we're getting into until we actually play it and like, oh, okay, this is, you know, a fast punk band, or you know, or this is a metal band, or this is a straight edge hardcore band. Usually you can tell the straight edge bands because they all have a bunch of X's in their name.
Yeah. And like the straight edge font with like a picture of the audience, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
today.
Actually, what's funny is not a lot of people know this. I spent a lot of time hanging out in the straight edge scene.
It's dope.
I was never straight edge, but I hung out because those
Was
dudes.
there one in Milwaukee?
What's that?
Was that like kind of like a popular thing like in Milwaukee back?
Yeah, man. Back in the heyday, my buddy Jesse used to run this venue in West Dallas called Club Karate for a short while.
Dude, all these tales.
I swear to God, it was around for maybe like a year.
Wow.
But he had. You know, bands like Brothers Keeper would come through, and Earth Mover, Walls of Jericho would come through.
Okay.
And the house band there was his band, and it was Forever After, and then that turned into Up in Arms.
Okay.
And they were a straight edge band. They had the drummer
They're pretty popular, right?
Drummer and guitar player from Since My Man was in that band.
Wow.
And I got my start doing graphic design when I was an art student. Doing flyers for those shows, and then doing demo tapes for those bands, and then when Up in Arms got signed to Uprising, I did the CD layout, and that was the first time I'd ever had anything commercially printed.
Wow.
Okay.
And then dude that ran Uprising liked my work so much that he hired me to do another CD.
Okay.
And then another CD, and then for 10 years I was doing CD layouts and
Sick.
Nice.
Dealing with the business side.
The rest is history.
Of doing records. That's kind of how I know how to put out records.
Yeah.
Is from that side, the design and promotion and business to business.
That was always the part that scared
yeah.
me so much, because it was like, that's like I think that's so important, because like every punk it's like you live in the. I feel like I come from a part where it's like I know how to like make the music, but like transferring this cool idea I have for art onto like a record, like how does one,
Yeah.
you know, that's like all the bands are just, you know, it's helpful. It's a helpful part.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's why I stayed busy, because I was the kid that went to art school, that was studying design and graphics, and had a computer at home, because back then people didn't have home computers like they do now.
Dude.
Like we're sitting here with 3 laptops.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day.
What kind of computer do you have?
What kind of computer do I have right now?
Like, well, what would you like do that stuff on back then?
Oh, back then,
programs?
my first design computer was a Mac clone. This was back when Apple actually licensed other manufacturers to make computers.
Okay.
Whoa, what?
That was back before they had real tight control of their hardware, because they were a failing company at the time.
Sure.
And that was before Steve Jobs stepped back in and kind of turned it around. But I had
this is cool.
a UMax Supermac C500 desktop. It was beige, because that's what color computers were back in the day. And I remember I took like every single shift I could at this crappy gas station job that I had.
Yeah.
And I think it was like $700. Seemed like so much money back then.
Still is.
Yeah. And all I could afford was the computer. I still needed to get a monitor, and I remember I sold all of my like Star Wars stuff to some comic book store to get like a really like crappy used Mac monitor, Apple monitor back at the time, and that was the first computer I did layouts on.
What like literally like like could you explain it in layman terms to me, like how you would like if you wanted to make you know what I'm saying, like a cool picture, what program would you use to do that on an Apple computer?
A lot of back in the day, it was just I'd go out with my camera and take photos, try to take cool photos of stuff in an abstract fashion and try to use that for layouts.
Sick.
Scanning a lot of stuff. Xerox. Still used a lot of Xerox stuff back then. I would always cut stuff up and Xerox it, and then shrink it down and then blow it back up, and it would be kind of distressed. Or like a good trick on a Xerox machine, if they still exist.
Unfortunately,
while it's while the light's moving across the top of the screen, just take whatever you're trying to scan, move it. I mean, you can still do that, like if you have a scanner. I mean, you can do the same kind of concept.
Yeah.
You move it, and it gets kind of distorted. So
Nice.
I don't know, man. Just experimentation.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't get too hung up on programs. It's being able to operate programs. Anybody can do that. You have to have the idea and the inspiration.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
Word. Is there anything else? How about your hip hop? You make beats?
Yeah, tell us about the beats.
Talk about those
I
beats.
suppose we didn't really touch on that too much, man. Yeah, no, I used to make beats just for fun. Like, I don't know, 8-10 years ago. And
Back in the day. When hip hop was live. Yeah, people freestyle on the corner for no apparent reason.
Before you had a
Pager. You can catch the whatever.
D beats.
But
No, but you can catch D beats on MKPunk.com.
But not 88.9.
Never 88.
Boo! I'm just kidding. Or kind of not. Huh?
I don't think we can talk about boycotting another radio station on a radio station.
I don't see why not.
Yeah. Change your ways,
So
88.9.
talk about the beats.
Yeah, no, I guess I just use it as a reason to pass the time. Want to do some more electronic experimentation. Playing bass in a band and having to collaborate with people to write rock tunes is one thing, but when I work in the digital realm and work on my laptop,
Control.
I get to make all the sounds. So
Yeah.
And I actually got really stoked on the UK grime scene
Dude,
recently.
Skepta.
Dude, Skepta, that Konichiwa album. I've been
So
listening
good.
to that all
You have?
summer.
Dude, numbers?
All
Quit.
summer. Oh, that Pharrell beat, dude.
Yeah.
That's so
Quit
tight.
talking numbers.
That's
Cal-
so good.
we let's put shutdowns off of.
Oh,
Shut down!
that's the jam.
Man's never been to London when it's been shut down, man.
Dude, Skepta.
What happened? Oh, let me fix that.
Oh.
Right as we say shut down.
There we go.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, Skepta, Stormzy. Okay. You check out Stormzy on YouTube. He doesn't even have an album out yet, and he's my favorite rapper right now.
Cool. Wiley too is pretty.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Wiley. I've been listening to Wiley for like 10 years. Honestly, like I used to listen to Dizzy Rascal and Wiley.
Dizzy Rascal's classic.
Like back in the day, and for a while it seemed like the grime scene kind of went stale, like they weren't doing much.
Yeah.
And then I checked in with them just this past summer and was like floored at what was going on.
It just recently popped off again. Like crazy.
Yeah, man. And for me, the reason I like it, it's so punk.
It is.
These guys they're making music with laptops.
Yes.
They're not sampling. They're just using sounds that are it's a very democratic process. Anybody that has a computer can make really basic grime beats.
Yep.
Obviously, there's some dudes that are making really, really good stuff that are.
But every MC is like a producer too. It's not like here where it's
man.
like it's so easy to get a lot of. I don't even like. Again, like, it's hard to like diss because like I still have respect for like a ton of MCs, but a lot of people can just go and like buy beats and then get all this credit as if like everything they do. I totally agree with you. Like it's super punk and like the shows they have out there are insane too. Like I know there's like video of like Skepta just like playing on top of this like viaduct. Have you seen that? I think it's entitled Shut Down. There's just like a ton of kids and he's just like standing like on top of this little like plateau and it just like for almost like a mile. It just seems like
dude, these guys are using the internet and media in ways that just
that they're doing it right.
Yeah.
They're just exploiting all this technology and using it to their benefit. For example, that Stormzy dude, I was checking out some of his videos. He's got a video, it's called Shut Up.
Okay.
It's just him. He tweeted to all of his fans and followers, just meet him down at the park.
Okay.
And he just threw down one take on video, and it was so fresh.
Really?
Like such a good delivery. He's very charismatic.
Sure.
He put it on YouTube. Within a year, he had 32 million hits.
Wow.
He doesn't even have an album out yet.
What?
That's crazy.
He's got like an EP and a couple of singles and some guest spots on other stuff.
Nothing.
And then so I was checking out, all this stuff on YouTube because that's where most of his stuff is. He's got this song called Scary, which is a song that's supposed to be off the new album, or it's hyping the new album. In 1 month, 6 million views in 1 month.
Wow,
That's
man.
crazy.
That dude
wild.
He's huge in the UK.
Stormzy?
Like, yeah, dude, he's sponsored by Adidas.
Hell?
He's got videos on the internet of him just rolling around giving kids free Adidas. Like, what size you wear, kid? Here you go.
That's so sick.
That's sick. Adidas are so tight.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Adidas.
They're changing the way that that you can be an artist and a musician and still like have Adidas sponsor you, so you don't have to worry about being like putting out a record or being on a record label. You're still, dude's playing massive festivals. I can't wait for that dude's album to drop. I thought it was supposed to come out this month, and then now it's the end of the month. It's like I just want to be like Stormzy keeps posting stuff on his Facebook and Twitter, and I just want to be like, I don't care about your party that you just had. Where's that record? Where's that record at? I don't care.
Also, I'm size 10.
Right?
With the Adidas.
Stormzy, if you're listening, 10.5. But yeah, so like, yeah, dude, Skepta, Wiley, Dizzy's got a newer EP that's pretty good. Footsie, that dude's good. If you gotta
I've
check
never
that
listened.
dude.
I know, like,
Jamie, Gigs, all those. I've been getting real deep into the.
Do you know Reggie Snow?
No, I do not.
Check out Reggie Snow. Do you know the producer Black Mac?
Nope.
He's like, he works with that. But have you listened to Rat King at all?
No.
Okay. Have you listened to Clipping?
Get on that.
Okay. Yeah,
They're very like futuristic, kind of like experimental, noisy like rock. They're from New York, but they blew up in London first, and so I got into I kind of got into Skepta through them. Check out, we'll pick each other's brain via Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, man, that's cool. I've been so bored with the hip hop genre as of late, and then I heard what was going on in our town and here in Milwaukee, and I heard what was going on with the UK grime scene, and I'm like, I want to make electronic music again.
It's awesome.
So I'm kind of frustrated right now because I've got all these ideas, and I could make beats for days. I don't MC. I can't rap. I sound stupid on a microphone because I'm sure when I listen to this back, I'm gonna be like, oh, dude, you just sound like a drunk surfer. So,
yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah,
me too.
I
split drunk.
I don't have any street cred in the hip hop scene, man. I'm a punk rocker. I've always played in punk bands. That's how everybody knows me.
Yeah.
But I've been making beats for over a decade.
Yeah.
Why not? I am a made man because I just got a beat that I made on Carnage the Executioner's last record.
Who's that?
He's a rapper from Minneapolis.
Okay.
He was on Idea and Abilities record. Idea from Rhymesayers.
Okay. Yes.
Idea passed away a couple 2-3 years ago though.
Okay.
Probably longer. Crap.
Sure.
Anyways, a beat I did like 8 years ago finally showed up on one of his records.
Nice.
That's sick.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Do you get money off that?
What's that?
Are you gonna get you're gonna get money off that?
Nah.
Oh, okay. It'll be out there. That'll be cool. People will know.
Yeah. So.
Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, if there's any rappers out there listening to this,
we're up.
And you hear this, any of these beats
that
they might play before or after this segment, and you like it,
$10,000.
Get in touch, because I wanna produce some tracks.
Word up! You heard it here first.
We do this section of the show. It's called
What
are you listening to?
Basically,
I know that's a really
broad
abstract title. But basically, we just try to talk about some music that we've been listening to.
Seriously?
So I'll kick it off, and then we can kind of just do like a round robin type thing.
Cool.
I've been listening to this band called Teen Creeps. They're from here
in this
house. Racine and like Kenosha, I guess. But consists of ex-member band dudes that are pretty tight. It's indie, it's rock, it's punk, it's emo. It reminds me of Built to Spill a lot, and I have listened to that band a lot lately as well. I think I listened to Teen Creeps EP like 10 times today alone. So Martin, what are you jamming?
Oh man, stuff that's been getting me hyped this year. That last Aesop rock record was tight. I listened to that probably a month and a half straight.
Wow.
There's this band, they must be from the East Coast, called UXO. It's members of, or I guess it would just be UXO. It's members of Unsane and Today Is the Day.
Okay.
Sweet.
It's Steve Austin and Chris Spencer.
Okay.
Super good record. It's just
Very
self-titled.
cool.
It's the only thing that exists by them.
Sure.
But yeah, I've been listening to that Skepta record constantly.
So good. Shut down.
Couple of Stormzy singles.
Shut down.
But yeah, I don't know. That's probably most of it. And then that Hot Coffin record that we put out on Triple I.
Very good.
That thing's got a lot of hooks, man.
Cool.
Word.
Sweet.
Justin?
I've been listening to there's this band called Girlfriends. They're from the West Coast, I believe. It's like this. It's actually kind of a really cool thing. It's kind of pertinent to this episode because the kid plays like everything in the band. He kind of, if I were to explain it, like almost like post-hardcore, like shouty, screamy stuff in the vein of like tiny moving parts or just like maybe even
That's
native, yeah. He basically what he did is he like went into a studio, looped just guitars over everything, and then like plays drums over it. So, but the guitars are in a succession to where it's like the whole, the whole song, and he can cue it, and he even plays live with it. Kind of, it's really cool. They're good. I don't know, they're catchy. Cool. They're weird. They're cool. Events.
We'll do those tomorrow.
Okay.
I think that's it. Thanks for.
That wraps it up.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for coming, Martin.
Yeah, thanks. For
really appreciate it. Thanks for talking about all your stuff.
Yeah, it's nice chatting with you guys.
Absolutely a pleasure. Cool. Bye.
Bottomed Out, coolest podcast in the world and radio show.